This podcast is rated R for restricted. Under 17 requires accompanying parent or adult guardian.
Mission 250.
Would you like a podcast loon?
A podcast? What?
Like a balloon? Like a podcast loon?
A balloon, if you will?
Balloon?
Yeah, balloon.
Are you scared? Are you fearful of the balloon?
That's pretty good.
The balloon? I don't think we're strangers anymore, balloon. All right, moving on.
Welcome to the Mission 250 Filmcast, where we watch scary movies sometimes, and it's October. No, it's not. It's September. Why is there horror
That's
movies?
close enough.
We like to have an excuse to go see a film as it's released.
Well, we've never done this before. We've never seen a movie opening night and then podcasted about it the next day.
No,
Yeah.
we were close with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, right?
Close.
I mean,
tell you.
we were a
the
week
first
off.
week or so, yeah.
You wouldn't have known it was opening night where I was.
Yeah, mine was a little bit of a poor showing as well.
It did well.
I have
it-
a reason why, maybe, but we'll get to that after.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh.
Well, it did really well, though. I mean, it did like 10 million or something.
Yeah,
like, it's
10 million
looking
for
good.
Thursday, which is not bad. It's going to be like 105 million they're estimating right now, which is pretty good.
Yeah, it'll be
I don't know
just
how.
fine.
Yeah, but so we haven't even said it. We're watching It Chapter 2 this week. It's
More
More It. It's directed by
More It.
Andy Muschietti. The synopsis is 27 years after their first encounter with the terrifying Pennywise, the Losers Club have grown up and moved away until a devastating phone call brings them back. And
You should go first.
I don't think I should. TC, what did you think? You didn't like it?
Oh,
I
Go,
fucking
TZ.
hated it. It
Oh,
was
all right,
no.
all right, no. So we're not going TC
Oh,
first.
yeah.
John, you want to go first, John?
Yeah, that was
yeah,
an awful
John,
movie.
who's happy to go sit outside the house for 3 hours and not be bothered. So I'm happy to be there.
That's not a good. That doesn't bode well for the movie. I'm sorry.
Oh, I enjoyed it. I know it's long, but I actually really enjoyed
Oh,
it.
God, was it
I'm on your
It
side there,
wasn't-
John. Just lay it out.
Yeah, it
Oh,
wasn't as
God, I
scary.
hated it so
wasn't
much.
more about. Oh, sorry, man.
Yeah.
I feel very bad for you because it is long, and if you're not liking it, it's long. There's no getting around it.
Yeah.
I thought they just did a remarkable job with the adult cast and how they matched the kids.
What?
Yeah. So there.
Okay, I didn't let you finish.
Yeah,
I was-
that's all right.
I was jumping in. I was
Again.
like, because I'm like, generally, no.
Generally,
All right,
yes.
go on. No,
Um,
but they
I-
did look a lot like him.
Well, they did, but I also thought Jessica Chastain, James McAvoy, Bill Hader,
Disagree.
they all did a good job. Oh, really?
I thought
Wow.
McAvoy and Chastain did the worst out of everybody in the movie.
Really?
I thought
they were
Hader
great.
and the guy who played Eddie were really good.
Hader and Eddie were really good.
Yeah.
I think the
And I thought Mike was just as bland as he was in the first movie.
really well. I think that what's his name? I thought Mike was still good because he's kind of the center of being the intense guy. But you're right, they didn't give him much of a personality.
No.
And
He's the
same
guy who
goes
explains the
for-
plot to you.
Right.
Yeah, hold
right.
on, guys. Give me a minute. I'm going to give you some explanation.
He's like there because he's good. He's just there, but he's there as functional. And even worse, I thought was Jay Ryan. Is that the guy?
Ben?
The guy that plays Ben.
Yeah.
yeah. The formerly fat kid, because that's all he is. He's just the former fat kid who wanted the girl. And
Oh,
they
the
don't-
rich architect,
Yeah. Well, there's that, but you don't even get you. It sort of looks promising because you see him being all passionate about being the architect and people listening to him, which was cool. But he has no character. Like there's no like showing of who he is today. All he is the former fat kid.
No, he's the guy who's obsessed with Bev.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
and he's
right.
obsessed
Yeah,
with that.
yeah, yeah.
And
He's
that's
just a
all. That's
creepy
all.
poet.
Yeah.
That's
Well, that's
all
all
he
he's
is.
got. Well, he's not even a poet anymore. They don't show any of that.
Right.
They-
He gave up poetry for fucking buildings. I don't know.
I don't know. He's just the formerly fat kid who is obsessed with Bev, and that's all he is. So I don't know if it's a criticism of him as an actor because he's not given much to work with.
It's maybe the script's fault. It's not
maybe,
the character's fault
yeah.
because the book is
right.
better than that.
Well,
Sometimes.
sure. Well, the book has hundreds and hundreds and
It's got
hundreds
time.
of pages.
It's got time to develop it.
It's got way lots of time. I mean, and you think about it, it's like multiply. It said like it took him 5 years to write the book, but he was on cocaine, so you sort of multiply that by another 2
By
or 3
two?
years.
Yeah.
So in terms of how fast his brain was moving.
Oh, really? I thought it was the other way around.
Oh, I don't know. Honestly,
Well, he's working twice as
fast.
fast, but he's working only a quarter
Yeah.
of the length of time.
Yeah,
So really, it's twice
he's
as
just
slow.
fucked up.
that's why they call it speed. But I don't know.
I get the logic.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just it's a I like the movie. I just again, I certainly by no means perfect, but I like the more focus on trying to sort of like seeing them contrast themselves with their kid selves and trying to like come to grips with where their lives are now. I thought that was all well enough done that I liked it.
Really?
Yep. Don't do it.
I gotta go next, Daddy.
You can go next, TC. You can go next.
Yeah.
So we can bookend the negativity.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sandwich you in there.
Yeah, right.
Nice shit sandwich.
It wasn't as much. There wasn't much scary, and part of that might be is I'm already like used to the Pennywise doing his
It's a
little
one-trick
like,
pony.
shudder thing. Yeah, so he, and it certainly loses effect. I mean, there was still some the homophobic asshole bully scene was really uncomfortable to watch. I knew that was coming because that was in the first part of the book that I'd actually read. But,
But it was so random. Like, could have avoided that. Didn't need
Yeah.
that for the story whatsoever. It was
Not-
almost
not really.
irrelevant.
Yeah, it's just because he had the racism stuff that was tinged.
I
towards
disagree,
but
Pennywise,
maybe the
and then-
I
movie-
feel like it was shock only. It was there for shock.
No,
That's
it's supposed
all
to
it
be
was.
showing
Oh,
you
they're beating up
how
the gay guy.
poisonous the town is, basically.
Right, it's there to show you like it plays
I didn't
upon
get
our
that.
really our darker natures, like racism and hope that come out like in these other ways where we just look to hurt people, and find and use something as an excuse for it, like homophobia.
I think it was just a use to
Maybe.
shock people, and we're
But
finding an
really,
excuse for it.
really awfully uncomfortable to watch, and it's really a tragic thing that maybe it'll outgrow our generation. But if you name your kid Adrian, and Adrian's in trouble. And
Adrian!
somebody's
No, Adrian!
it's just not gonna work right
I know.
You're chuckling as he's drowning in the water.
No matter how well it's done, and I thought the actors did, they did a good job with the scene and everything. But if
You
you're
laughing in the
if you're
theater, you asshole.
I was.
No.
It took me out of it too. I
No.
was like, did he just? Is it a Rocky reference? Is that a
Somebody
Rocky
is
reference?
beat up and yelling Adrian. It's tough. It's tough to make that separation. They should have named him something else.
Stella!
Yeah, that's right.
Now that would have been something
would've
else.
worked,
Daddy.
yeah. Stella! Anyway,
Just fucking, yeah.
but that scene was really uncomfortable. The little girl almost had me. I really had my knees up in my face with the little girl under the bleachers. That
Are you
was
balling up in
terrifying.
public, John?
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
There was nobody else on my row. So
Don't
it
worry, there was
okay.
nobody in the theater, right?
Yeah.
They all
I had
read
like-
the
there were like
reviews,
20
and it was like, I'm not going to that shit.
There were like 20 people behind me. But that scene was to me really terrifying, and just again, it was well done for what it was. And like when they do it, she's like, he didn't say 3, and then she dies. That was really awful, in a good horror movie way, I guess. But I still don't like to see children killed.
Right.
But that was to me, that was the scariest part of the film. That's where I was the most tense. Just
That's
because
not good because that's not supposed to be the scariest part of the film.
Oh well,
Is it not?
Case in point of why this fucking movie just blows.
maybe I know. I mean, but it's much more on the Stand By Me side of it. But I still enjoyed it. I mean, I enjoyed watching the characters for the most part. I thought, and I liked the interactions. There's some humor. Sometimes it's a little clunky, but sometimes it was genuinely funny. And so,
TC, did you not laugh
sort
out
of
loud at
enjoyed
any
that.
part in the movie?
Maybe once. Yeah,
Yeah.
once.
I was laughing pretty good throughout the movie.
Yeah, everybody was. And I kept thinking to myself, that was not funny.
Oh.
Almost every time they saw
That's
it.
not funny.
They, like,
What's wrong with
burst
you
out-
people?
They're bursting
Stop
out
laughing.
laughing in the background. And I'm like, everyone's just laughing because one guy started laughing. Like you guys are laughing at that?
What about the scene where he had just got the knife in his face and he's like, dude, change the mullet. It's been 30 years.
Dude, I didn't laugh at that. I stayed
was
there. I was
so
like,
funny.
you guys are
Oh.
laughing at that?
I laughed
The
really
mullet
hard.
joke?
I thought it was pretty funny.
Yeah.
But I liked those scenes. I actually liked I thought the older bully and just the contrast there. And I know it's kind of a throwaway thing almost. And I guess there were a number of other characters that just weren't included at all. Like apparently, like Bill's wife played a big role in the book.
And Bev's husband.
And Bev's husband comes back and they're like manipulated by it to do stuff.
Yeah.
And it's probably for the best that they all got left out. But and I guess I was reading at some point online that in test screenings that even the bully stuff didn't test well in the earlier films, and they were a little bit worried about even leaving that stuff in because it's just there's so many characters and so many people that it's like it gets a little hard for the audience to keep track of things, I guess. But I liked it. I like another pretty creepy part was when his former partner in bullying comes out from under the bed. I thought that was pretty creepy, and then realizing who it was, and it's like, oh, he's my driver. cool. I thought, I don't know.
It's like kind of The Shining, right? It's like the freaking ghosts, like unlock them, making the ghosts real
that was
and
more
shit.
like straight horror movie kind of stuff where it's like horror fun almost, where it's not no children are dying and it's just, you're just sort of seeing some of that stuff. And that becomes like, it's a different kind of horror. Like, and the first one had much more of the horror because they're kids. It just feels so much more darker.
I think there's more reasons than that too, but that's one of them.
It's a big one. You're right. I mean, but certainly I didn't. This one was more of kind of like, other than when the kids are getting killed, like more of the fun kind of horror, I thought. But even then, there wasn't a lot of that. So yeah, I enjoyed it. I think overall, like it's a kind of an impressive project between the two films. I think even then, and I don't know if they're trying for this, but it had like they were trying for the Lord of the Rings feel kind of at the end, where it's like the band of people that have been through so much and they're just sort of sitting there like you're having like these long moments of just kind of hanging out with the people after everything's over. And did it earn that? I don't know, but I thought, and so with Hader's character, I think it was interesting because he wasn't gay in the book.
You picked up on that, dude? I must have been blind to that because I did not pick up on any of the hinting that he was gay in the movie whatsoever.
Oh,
What?
really?
Did you pick up on that, TC?
Yeah.
I just thought he
When
was
they
like
said,
really
like,
good friends
Fucking
with
putting
Eddie.
his initials in.
Yeah.
But
Carves initials in
I thought they were like best buddies when they were
Yeah,
kids.
did you do that when you were a kid with your best buddy? You did that? Yeah, I would
No,
never
but
have
that
done
means
that with
Eddie-
Richie
Well-
Bonnevie. Ooh, T&R hanging out skateboarding. No, that has nothing to do with it. It's just him in his head.
when they show the arcade scene where he gets made fun of, I thought that was when I was like, oh, because he gets made fun of because he's like he finds himself attracted to the boy that he's playing the arcade game with.
Right,
and then
right.
he
Let's
gets
do another game. Like,
completely
hey, I got a
shamed.
quarter.
Yeah.
What? I
And
didn't
he
get
gets-
that at all. Didn't you ask?
your
Really?
boyfriend. I'm not your boyfriend. Like,
Oh
that's
man,
as
then
obvious
I
as it
dislike
gets.
that scene now.
Yeah. Oh, they did a lingering like hand, like it wasn't
Hey,
just a
yeah,
high
it was
five. It was
very
like
obvious.
a slow hand slide.
Yeah,
You
but
know, it's,
I didn't get any
Yeah.
of that. Don't
Really?
kids have weird handshakes when they're small? They're like 13 years old.
They
Yeah,
got weird
but-
handshakes, but it's in like a pattern with like you do
Yeah.
over and over again when you see each other. Not like,
Well-
oh, let me just slide by.
Well, and again, it may
I mean,
not have been,
not there's anything wrong with it. Like
No,
I said,
No, I know.
comment,
I'm
right?
course.
I'm surprised because I just thought
But you
that
just-
I don't know.
No, you saw the kid's face. The sense of like he really had a strong connection there, and then you see the bully, and it's just like
I thought he was just trying to make a
putting-
friend.
I know, but
Oh,
I
Danny,
was putting
you
it together
innocent
where
little thing.
where it's
Fuck.
like saying I know your secret. I know your secret, and then it's like,
Yeah,
oh,
I
well, this
can
is
tell.
a secret. Let's see what else. Oh, I was really disappointed when they went back to Ben's early life and he's hiding in his locker. And there's a new kid on the
Dude,
block. I
one of the
think it's
scariest
new
parts
kids
of
on
the movie
block.
was the poster of the New Kids in the Block. I thought that thing
I
was
know.
going to come to life.
I did, and I wanted it too. I saw this big grin.
You
I was
were
like,
scared
that
the shit
thing-
out of me.
Kids on the
That
block
thing-
than the fucking
yeah.
Dude, when
the
they
clown.
panned to that guy's face from New
Yeah.
Kids in the Block, I was like,
Yeah.
that's fucking scary.
the
I don't know
fuck?
why
That
that's so
is
scary.
and I know,
Oh,
but
man.
I wanted it to start talking or something
Yeah,
because it
me
had
too.
that big grin. I was like, oh god, we got it. And then it's just Pennywise is in
Hey,
there. It's
fat
like, oh, it's just Pennywise.
boy?
How much room is in that goddamn locker, for fuck's sake?
That's a big
I
locker.
know.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna
Yes.
lie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's got enough room for
two-story
a fat little
locker.
kid and Pennywise.
yeah.
Come on.
And Pennywise.
Yeah. I'm glad,
Fuck,
again, it's me. I'm happy to go to the theater, and I was absorbed in the film, even though it was long. I enjoyed it. That's
Good.
it's kind of there's sort of a thumbs up, thumbs down thing there, which is fine. I think, like, I was glad to have gone and seen it, particularly in the theater. I think it actually would have been harder at home to watch it because it's long and you got to just sort of sit there and be absorbed. But yeah, that's all I got. I don't know.
All right.
Oh, I'm scared.
Well,
TC.
Ready
No.
for this, boys?
Lay it on us, man.
I don't know how anybody
Wait,
liked this
worse
fucking movie.
than a black and white film? Worse than a black and white
Oh,
film
yeah.
in a foreign language that's all about
I would
poetry?
rather sit there and watch a black and white film. No,
What?
I don't know. I don't know about that.
Would you
Honestly,
rather
I can't say
watch?
that. That's,
Come
that's,
on, let's really.
That's
come
a
on.
little too extreme.
Would you rather watch
Okay,
Persona
for one,
again?
This is what I think. What really did
So
it for
better
me is
than
there was
Persona.
something-
Shut up, John.
No, there was
Hey,
something. No, I did it to him. It's fine.
IOTC, some interruptions.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
he's gotta
get
do
them. I'm just gonna get that
It's
out
fine.
of the way.
Yeah, right. Keep
Okay.
on going.
So you're
All right,
saying
here we
it's
go,
better,
right?
right? Better than
Sorry.
Persona?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
See?
Oh. Anyway. Yeah. Anyways.
Oh yeah, I'm done.
I think the.
But what I wanted to say. Oh no, I'm really done.
the first fucking, that's good, John. Good work. I deserve that. The first movie had more charm to it because they're kid actors that nobody knows. I fucking can't stand Chastain, for one.
Oh,
Really?
why?
As an
That's why-
actor,
I thought she was fine.
just dislike her. I think she's
Really?
got the worst facial expressions.
Hmm.
Her delivery of her lines are always shit. I just don't like her. So that immediately when I saw her, I was like, fuck. Like I knew already I wasn't
They
going to like it.
wanted her from
And
the
then
beginning, I think. for that.
McAvoy is awful.
Dude,
in
I
this
agree
movie.
with you. They're
He
not
is
good.
fucking awful. I
Yeah.
mean, dude can't act for his fucking life. When he
I'm
was
I'm
screaming
totally
at that
confused.
kid in the street, I was embarrassed for him. I was like, this is terrible. Hader was cool. He's funny. He's always funny. He's just a likable dude. He is.
Yeah.
So I didn't have any problem with him. But I just had an issue with the adults in general. I think there was
What do you think
also
about
an
Eddie?
obvious. Eddie was fine. He's fine.
Oh, I thought Eddie was good. I
He's
liked
fine.
Eddie a lot as a kid.
I was
too.
so
thought it
enveloped in the
amazing.
rest of them that I couldn't fucking give a shit.
Oh man,
about
that's got to
Eddie,
ruin
you know?
the film, though. I mean, if you're hating the two leads, basically,
Right.
What else? How's it going to go well? Right? You're
It's not.
screwed.
It's not.
Yeah,
I'm fucked.
that's-
Exactly.
that's
I knew
fair.
it as soon as I started. I was like, I'm not going to like this already,
Right.
just because I can't stand her, and I can't. And
Yeah.
then as he was getting worse, McAvoy was getting worse and worse. I was just like,
Man,
this movie fucking sucks.
what did I miss? Because I liked him. I thought he was good.
Oh, I thought he was.
I don't know what's
awful.
wrong with myself.
I thought he was
He was
bad
awful.
too, John. You're by
Really?
yourself.
Yeah,
Oh,
he was-
no.
he was
2 out of 3.
awful.
It's like
He's just
yeah.
the other thing I really disliked, and I thought it was fucking obvious, is that clearly in their contracts they were all had to have screen time, and it was pissing me off because they kept routing the story around these actors having focal points, and that didn't push the story forward. It was just, oh nope, it's McAvoy's turn. Cool, we're just gonna get him on screen for fucking 15 minutes. What does that do for us?
But that's the structure of the story. They all have to find their little token.
No, that's fine, but they could have done it in a way that wasn't so clear that the actors
Right.
needed to have screen time.
And they could have done it a better way, even than I don't even know about finding the token, because I think in the book it was more about like just remember it. They had
Yeah,
to go
you had to
somewhere
find
so
your
they could
memories,
remember. Right. That makes more sense than you.
But it's harder to
thing.
convey in a movie.
Yes, but
Yeah, I mean, I
yeah.
agree with you. That's going to be, I mean, it's a tall order.
The
Yeah,
one
that's a
really
tall
cool
order.
thing I want to mention before I don't want to forget this is the cameo, the coolest cameo
Stephen
in this
King?
movie.
Of Stephen
Yeah.
King.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
thought
mean, that was
so
fine. I thought
cool.
that was kinda cool,
Well,
yeah.
not only that, but he gets to like sit there and
Talk shit
gripe
on his
about
own
the
book.
books. Yeah, exactly.
right.
He never could do an ending. I thought that was really. He was good
Yeah.
as a character actor
Yep,
too. He
I
was
thought
like
Right.
all that
like-
Stephen King stuff was great.
It was good.
Yeah,
No, that
yeah.
I'll give him that. I'll give the
Yeah.
movie that.
anyway. So carry on.
I didn't like the way they went with, the scary bits, like the first scene in the Asian restaurant. It was so not Pennywise based. It was like
No.
all these other shock things that could get
Like
you.
all the creepy
Like,
monsters coming
yeah, it's
out
like,
of the
hey,
fortune
let's just do this because
cookies.
it's gonna freak them out. It's not about Pennywise anymore. It's not about the clown. It's not about the story from before. It just didn't mesh with what I had seen on the first one, and it was like,
You're right. That's
just-
that's a fair point.
That's a
Yeah.
problem with the book, TC, just to throw
Is
that
it?
out there. Yeah. Because,
okay,
I mean,
all right, well there you go.
I
I
think
don't
the
know.
first one was so good because they focused all like the parts that were cohesive into one
Right.
movie, but the book is just like he's everything, and they actually cut a lot of the other creatures out from
Yeah,
both movies.
so then I guess that makes but
And
that's-
in it, he was
tough
more
thing,
like
man.
he was like Frankenstein. He was Dracula. He was like all these.
he was a
old movie
bird. He was the creature
monsters.
from
Yeah.
Black Lagoon. He was
so
the
they
mummy.
just didn't pull it off well. Then I don't know what to
No,
say. I
you
mean,
make a good point, TC. Though that like that's kind of their introduction back to Pennywise, and it's weird, like almost fantasy creatures coming out of fortune
Yeah,
cookies.
it's all this other shit besides what I was expecting.
Yeah,
And
that's like
I don't know.
not.
Yeah.
Well, there's no menace in that. It's
No,
creepy,
it's just
yeah,
dumb
but
shit.
there's not like the scary menace that Pennywise has.
No, we
So
just had
that's a good
we
point.
just had a 10-minute fucking scene where basically we're just getting shocked into being scared to set us up for some story that's going nowhere because the actors can't pull it off. And then on top of it, the fucking sound wasn't even as good as the first one. So we're not even getting like, because they're doing all this other shock value shit that has nothing to do with like real good low end like I was hoping for. So I just had all these expectations going into this based on the first one that were just underwhelmed the entire movie. And I was literally sitting there looking at the clock, and I had no idea it was 3 hours long, okay? So
Oh,
I'm fucking
man.
an hour and a half in. I'm like, how the fuck has this story not gone anywhere yet? How much longer could there possibly be? And I took my phone out. I'm in the theater, not giving a fuck so much that my phone's out light on. And I'm looking up the fucking runtime, and I went, an hour and a half? Out loud. Are you kidding me? I then got up and I left the theater and got a beer, took a piss, and took my time. Was like, I have no reason to fucking rush back into this movie. I can't explain to you guys enough, as if you can't tell, how
Yes.
much I disliked this movie.
You are angry.
I was pissed. No, and I was because I was like extremely excited for this,
Mm.
which is weird for me because you guys know me. I don't really get
Yeah,
excited for this kind
Yeah.
of shit.
Oh, that's where you went
Well,
wrong.
so
You
you're
see,
right.
I went into this movie expecting a shitty
Expecting
movie.
well, maybe that's right. That's
Yeah.
what it was, right? And so I don't know, dude. It really just didn't do it for me. And I think the story wasn't great. The actors were shit. I mean, not all of them, but the big ones, the ones that you're supposed to like,
Right.
were
Well, no,
shit.
if you're not liking them, then yeah, you're kind of screwed.
And I just didn't like. I mean, the Pennywise stuff was fine, but that ending with him being like this gnarly spider. Once we see it, I'm no longer scared of it.
Right.
So, like, to go on for another 5 to 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes of the same shit, we're like, okay, we get it. He's going to run at him. Up, yep, he ran at him. Up, he's going to yell. Up, he yelled. And it's like, you can just like, it's like literally cookie cutter shit. You could literally find the moments where it's like, up, here comes funny joke. There's the quirky joke. And then he's going to run at him. Boom, there it is. He's ran at him. It's like one trick pony all day, all night. When that fucking thing ended, I knew it was the last scene. I just got up and left.
Yep.
I was like, here we go. This is going to be it. Yep. Okay. It's about to slow down. Camera's coming up and we're seeing the town. See ya. And I just started walking out. I was like, fuck, thank God that's over.
Oh, you didn't
I was
watch
the
Bill
first
Hader
one.
cry at the end?
I was literally the first. No, I watched it like when the town or whatever, when the thing was going up and the
You watch
car
it,
was
and
driving up or whatever.
Showing,
you know?
They're showing the kids in the mirror, or they're showing themselves in the glass, and then they're all
right.
like saying
Yeah,
all these very
exactly.
positive words. So the other thing, like that, I don't think that guy's letter wasn't in the book, right? Or was it?
Nope, it was not.
So his the what's his name?
Oh, the suicide note
Tozer?
thing?
Yeah.
It's whatever?
No, not
Yeah.
Tozer, but what's his name? Stanley. Was it
Yeah.
Stanley?
Stanley.
That
Yeah.
wasn't in the book?
Yeah.
The letter to all of them was not in the book, no.
He
Dramatic
killed himself.
effect.
He killed himself, but didn't like have any explanation
Explain
for
it.
why he killed himself in the book.
Well, and the explanation didn't even fucking make any sense. I knew that if we
I
would,
thought it kind of did.
I knew that if we
no.
weren't all together, that it wouldn't work. So I'm not going to show. I mean, it made
Right.
no logical sense to me that like you're saying the thing that's making you leave is the thing that you were scared would happen. But
It's
by
about
doing
percentages, dude. It's not about total power. It's about percentages.
Oh my God, fuck you.
Seriously,
It's just like,
dude, if you want to look at it like that, yeah, there's a lot dumb with this movie. A
Oh,
lot.
yeah, it's just
yes.
a lie. Yeah, right. I mean, I think it. Once I was out of the movie, like I was no longer
Dude, just
invested
thinking
in it,
about
that's
like
all I could
when
see.
Mike's like, he has this whole plan. He's like, I'm going to get you down in there. And he's like, oh, I actually didn't know what I was doing. I thought it was going to work if we all thought it was real.
Right.
And he's like, how about we just make fun of it? And he's like, holy shit, this is working. This is great.
Yeah, that's very
And I was
strange.
like, wait, you're
And-
telling me that all they had to do was criticize the fucking thing?
Yeah.
What?
It's pretty
That's
stupid. Yeah.
Like it's so dumb.
Wait, is that the same in the book too, or no?
Nope.
No, in the book, there's this like
The book isn't
this
good
extra-
either.
extra-
I think
no,
the
no.
ending in this is better than the ending in the book. Just
There's
to throw that
like
out
this
there.
extra
Oh, wow.
dimensional. There's an extra dimensional turtle.
Turtle.
Who a giant space turtle who
He's big.
barfed up our universe. And
All the kids, there's a scene in the
Pennywise-
first one. Yeah. Do we want to get
Yeah.
into trivia later? I still
Well,
want to
we
review
can.
it.
I mean, we can discuss.
Yeah, we got to
what-
review it because
what-
I mean, I have
yeah.
so much hate for this. I could keep going,
Okay.
so I'm not gonna
Yeah.
because it's useless. I've said what I
Yeah,
need
okay.
to say. So let's
No,
get Denny
you've
fucking-
also made your point very clear. I think
Yes.
we have a very
And
strong
TC,
understanding.
I don't disagree with anything that you're saying. I think everything that you're saying is accurate.
Okay.
I
Well,
think that-
and I think Go ahead.
I
Go
think
ahead.
Chastain and McAvoy are really bad. It's bad in the fact that this is a horror movie and they should be acting scared, and Chastain and McAvoy never seem scared. And McAvoy
Yeah.
specifically, if you guys have ever seen the movie Split, he's just doing one of the personalities he had in Split, which is, I assume,
I
why
never
he
saw
got hired
Split.
to do this, because they're like, oh, McAvoy's famous and he can do a stutter. Let's just get
And,
him.
well, and he also actually kind of.
Right.
I mean,
Good
these
point,
guys
Denny.
look a bit like the kids.
No,
They do.
I mean,
no.
They do a little
I'd say
bit. I mean,
Eddie
Hater-
does. That
Hater did.
scene where
Hater
they
did.
fade from Eddie's old face to the young face, I was like, holy shit,
Yeah.
they look the
Oh
exact
yeah,
same.
that was close.
Yeah.
That was damn close. Yeah.
And then freaking
With-
Chastain has red hair, fine. I mean, that's not that good.
Yeah, so right, that's right.
And I didn't think that, I mean, it was weird because I saw this with Naomi and another friend, Dan, who both thought that the fat Ben looked like the older, attractive Ben, and I didn't see it at all, personally.
Oh, really?
I don't know about
I
that.
didn't quite see that.
Yeah. They said it was like in the
I'd
eyes
love
or
to
something.
see
but-
I'd love
Yeah.
to see a before and after picture of the fat kid, and then when he's older, and then put him up together and be like, "See, not so close."
Nope, he's still fat,
Right.
actually.
Yeah, he's still a big boy.
Yeah.
Poor bastard. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought my least favorite part of this entire movie. I mean, you got to understand, I'm going into this movie knowing what happens in the book and being not too
Right.
excited about it because I think universally it is known that the adult portion of the book is by far the inferior portion of the book. It's nobody's favorite part. But
Right.
what they do with it is better. Like, I think, so the book goes back and forth from the beginning, from adult to kid. And like the whole thing is supposed to be kind of a flashback. But I think the way these two movies do it, the best part of the movie is the way it restructures the book to be a kid's story and then an adult story with remembering parts of the childhood you didn't see because they forgot it, as like a narrative trick to be like, oh, there's all these
Right.
extra parts because we forgot it, you know?
Yeah.
In the book, it doesn't necessarily make sense because whenever you go back and you're living in the kid time, it's like, this is a different story. It's like, kind of like a flashback, but really it just feels like a separate story when they're younger. But in
It
the
does.
movie, it actually,
Yeah.
the second movie, it feels like a flashback,
No,
which is what it's
It
supposed
does,
to be doing.
and I actually like that. And I think that's another part of the movie I sort of like because, and I'm sure there's other movies that do this, but I haven't seen them that or can remember them. But you know where you have Stand By Me or whatever, you don't really spend a lot of time with the kids afterwards and see kind of what happened. And I think that's what I like about this film too, is just that sort of like juxtaposition of who they are now and who they were then. And to me, that's just interesting. And I just kind of like that idea. But yeah. So, and you're saying the book doesn't do a good job of that.
I didn't think it did. No, because I mean,
Yeah.
they always kind of, the whole idea of the adults in the book is the same, where they're supposed to be wandering through Derry, remembering what happened when they were kids, because they all forgot. Because when you leave Derry, you forget for whatever reason. But I never really felt them actually remembering things in a way where it was affecting the adults. Maybe because the book is so fucking long, where like the chapters about kids are like chapters long, and then you're like, oh, and it's back to the adult, you know? But in this one, it just seemed having it split where it's like you get to see the kids, and then the second half is entirely the adults, but they spend half the time as the adults thinking about themselves as a kid. You know what I mean? So it's like you get two actual timelines, but the later timeline is spent looking back at their childhood, which is kind of cool. I think that's what the book was trying to do.
I know, and I like that, and I think that really, those are the themes I like about this story, the It story. I mean, that's what I think is really interesting, is this idea of confronting death and being afraid as a kid, and what that means when you're an adult, or what sort of secrets or traumas happen to you as a kid, and what that means when you grow older. Those are pretty interesting themes, and exploring that through like a horror character, I think, is really interesting. Even though this is like scattershot done, and it's not done in a very coherent way, even whether it's in the book or the film, in terms of what it actually is. It's kind of a mess, but I still sort of appreciate the attempt.
Did they say, I was confused about the timeline in the movie. I don't remember the numbers exactly, but like I thought they said it was sometime in the 18th or 17th century that it started appearing in Derry. But
Right, but it was there.
No, but
like,
then Mike said at one point, he's just like, not forever, just millions of years.
right.
And that
the book
actually
says
got
that
people
too,
to
right?
laugh in the theater because they're like, that's a stupid line of dialogue.
That's true. Not forever, but millions of years.
Yeah, it's like, that's basically forever, dude. Don't be a fucking
might as
dick.
well be forever.
What are you, Neil
Yeah,
deGrasse
right.
Tyson over here? Come on, give us a break.
Hey guys, I'll be right back. Hold on. Sorry.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Just keep going. I'll be right back.
I'll go rambling on the positive because TC won't be able to.
Yeah, do
agree
that
with me.
exactly. And then I'll
Okay.
hear it later and be like, this motherfucker.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of the positive thoughts I have of this is because I expected it to be worse than it is because
Right.
I
So
know
you went
how the
with
book
low
is.
expectations.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting.
But
And
what
I
they-
mean, I was.
What they do
go
with a
on.
lot of it is they make it better than what it was. And I
Mm-hmm.
agree that it's still not great, but it's better than it was. And he's trying to make a movie about a book that's full of bad parts and like the ending is bad. And they make fun of the ending being bad like three
Like,
or
over
four
and over
times in
again.
the movie.
I know, which I liked. Yeah.
I kind of liked it. It would have gotten old except for the fact that Stephen King popped in to make fun of himself.
I know.
for doing
I
it.
thought that was really cool.
So then, but I also thought because of that I thought the ending was going to be different, but it wasn't that different. Not that different.
Okay. Right. Yeah.
They have to battle a giant spider in a cave, which is basically the same thing.
And that's lame. After all of this, I mean, the light part is interesting, but the giant spider in a cave, I agree with TC too. Like after you, even before you see it, because by now, like if you've seen the Tim Curry or even I haven't even seen it, but I know big giant spider.
Yep.
And I even know that even without seeing it. So I'm like, oh yeah, there's the big giant spider. And then it's like, yeah, that's really not much after everything else we've seen, all the different forms he's taken.
But
Big
they cut the
giant
turtle out.
spiders.
Thank God they cut the turtle out. Dude, can you imagine if like literally if there was a fucking giant space turtle that was all peaceful and shit floating in like a dimension that nobody knows and they're talking to the kids being like, hello, I am the peaceful turtle. I will teach you how to defeat the monster It. That's what the fucking book is. I'll
know,
take this. This is fine.
To be fair, I kind of would have liked that.
No, dude, you would have hated it more.
I know. What I would have liked, if there was some kind of being a big fan of science fiction and fantasy, and one of my favorite things about those genres is when they like tell this,
Get
they
weird.
do something that's fantastic. It's weird,
They get
but
weird.
it's coherent. Yeah,
Sometimes.
it's weird, but it like makes sense within whatever weirdness it is. Like it's like a coherent story. Like whether it's an origin of an alien or whatever, it's like it's fantastic, yes, but it's put together in a way that makes sense.
Stephen King cannot do that. He cannot. He has ideas like that and he tries to put them in things, but he writes them confusingly. Like I don't know if you've read.
Yeah.
You ever read The Stand, John?
A long time ago.
Do you remember the end of that one?
No, I don't.
It's
I don't.
very confusing.
See, and I just remember, but what he does is the characters and the way he deals with people's personal inner lives and how they struggle with like the good parts and bad parts of themselves or the things that have been done to them. That's what he does so well, and how he links that
the characters.
to horror. Yeah,
and sometimes the horror part, like the scary
Right.
parts, like he can think of some really violent, scary shit.
right. But he links it to this emotional stuff with people.
Yeah.
And like he really links it to the characters. So usually if it's horrifying, it's also particularly horrifying to that character because of who they are or what they went through. And that's what he does really well. But you're right, I don't remember the details of stuff otherwise in terms of like I don't read him like the way I read like some really good science fiction for like the world building or
No,
or like
I've always found myself whenever he tries to do something weird, like in It, there are a few scenes where he does that weird turtle shit. I'm reading it, I'm like, what the fuck is going on right now? Like I literally don't even know what's going on. It's so confusingly written that I'm just like, all right, they're floating and they're talking to a turtle and another. Like, when did this start happening? And they go back like different. Like, I go back to try to figure out what's going on, and I reread it. I'm like, this doesn't make any fucking sense. I can't follow this.
And it's like, and it's also weird. It's like I thought, like, and even the movie like alliterates to it a little. Like, it's a meteor that comes down, so it's an alien, of some kind, I guess.
But he's from a different dimension too. Also,
right.
different dimension.
Why do you have to be both? Right?
Yeah.
You
Why
know,
not just
pick
make
one.
a portal? Can it just be a portal?
Right. Yeah,
I guess it was a
exactly.
space portal, and he had to take a spaceship down from the space portal to Earth.
Right.
Just to be safe.
Just
You don't
like-
want a portal into the center of Earth. That's trouble. You don't want that.
But what's done so well, I think it would have been so much more interesting. Why not just focus on how it is a manifestation of all the darkness inside the people in this town, and focus on that? Why do you even need the alien bits or the other stuff? It's like the part that's so compelling is how he relates to like the evil of these people, whether it's their racism or homophobia or
that's the best
whatever else.
parts of the adult stuff. Like the Bev's husband stuff is some of the scariest stuff.
Yeah,
The Henry Bowers stuff as an adult is some of the scariest stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what's really compelling about this stuff. And compelling that the horror element sort of like somehow it really like it's like and maybe it's kind of a fairy tale thing where it just sort of exacerbates reality and makes it even more intense. And yet it still has this sort of core of like emotional realness.
Especially
and that's
juxtaposed to
what's-
actual made up shit.
Right.
You know, you can make
right.
horrible, like realistic stuff seem more horrible because it seems extra, like to the, in a normal book, boy, is this violent would not necessarily be realistic. But when you also have like an interdimensional space monster that's a clown, then you're like, all right, this stuff is real. That's scary. And then this other stuff is also kind of scary, even though it's fake.
Right. Or you can kind of think of like, well, they're, this clown's like taking like, he's exacerbating all these things. He's bringing out these traits in people, like, or this thing is doing that. And that also then is really terrifying. But gives you an excuse to just really show the terrible evilness that's sort of within people and show it in sort of this like really like, I don't know, pure or like more like direct way. And I thought, and that sort of makes it okay where it doesn't feel like the film's being ham-fisted and showing this outright racism or homophobia. I don't know. I don't know.
Oh,
I think
he's
it's really
back.
interesting, but
I've been back.
Oh, hey,
I've been
buddy.
back.
anyway.
I just been a fly on the wall listening to this bullshit.
Oh.
No.
Well, we're again just talking about.
Honestly, I don't know how to like. This is a weird one because, like, I'm a super fan of the book, but also it's very flawed, and the movie has the flaws of the book, but it tampers them down. So it's like I appreciate the tampering, and I appreciate the fact that it has to complete the story of the book in the second half because the first half cherry picked the good parts. So like, what the fuck? What's it gonna do?
You mentioned that last time you spoke about this. Yeah, you did.
So like, what is it gonna do? Like, what could it possibly do? Unless it rewrites the entire thing, then everyone would be pissed because I don't even know how you do that. You have to have the same characters. There were a lot of scenes in the book that are the scariest things that are basically unfilmable, I think. I don't know. Like there's they really set themselves up to make the best first half they possibly could. And I think with what they had, they did that's not true. They could have had some better acting.
I was going to say that seems. I think that really.
But
killed
I really
it
think that
for
like
TC in particular.
Yeah. But I think that
yeah.
a lot of your problems sound like TC. They're to do with like how stupid the fucking book is. And I say that as a big fan.
But I like when there's things that are happening that are stupid in the book, like your mental imagery might be able to take the reins and like make it up for you. But no,
there's a lot of really stupid parts in the book.
Oh, okay, Denny.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Would you like a balloon?
Would you like a balloon?
Yeah, every balloon every Monday.
I noticed you're reading the book, but maybe you should have a balloon.
So my biggest gripe with the movie, TC, is that you said it wasn't scary. I agree. I wasn't scared once, really. I missed Pennywise, the talking clown. Fuck the dancing clown. He didn't talk very much in the second movie.
No, he didn't.
No, he did. He wasn't scary when he talked.
Right. He wasn't. That's a good point.
And he also didn't make any sense when he talked because like his whole thing is like he wants people to be afraid of him, right? He feeds off the fear. But you get this first girl where he's like trying intentionally not to scare her. So she comes closer to him. That's not how he fucking works. Even if kids run away from him, he's fucking scary to them, right? That's how people get away from him because they're like, fuck this, I'm getting out of here. And they get lucky and they get away.
He did the same thing to Georgie, like with the little kid though. He like attracted him. Like he was very much how he did Georgie.
But he was in a sewer.
Yeah. He was in a
like,
fucking
come on,
sewer. I mean, I guess he was underneath the
I mean,
bleachers in the dark. That's kind of scary too.
Yeah. No, to me, I was scared, and she was scared too at first. But he was like working on her weakness as well too, like about her feeling different and being made fun of.
But doesn't that? I mean, why pick that way to do it to them, and then the other way he freaks people out just constantly, so they know to be afraid of him and to avoid him.
Right. But I still found that very scary. I still found it very scary.
What about the part where like Richie was? First of all, I thought like one of the scenes I didn't think they were going to include in the movie was the Paul Bunyan statue coming to life. I'm really glad they did that because I thought that looked really good personally, even though it's silly as fuck.
Good. It's silly and scary at the same time, and I like that.
But why can Richie just go, it's not real, and have it go away? How is that?
That's what I don't get.
That doesn't make any sense.
Well, because sometimes that works and sometimes it doesn't, right? So that's what's sort of annoying, right?
And the first thing is like, it's not real enough for you, Richie. And he's like, oh, he's real this time. Why is he real this time?
Exactly. I don't know.
Because he was so scared.
And if you say it's not real, then can't you stop the little boy from getting murdered? Because you can just say it's not real at that point.
Dude, I was so confused at what was real and what was not. I don't even know if that boy really died in the funhouse.
Oh, God.
I didn't feel like that was based in reality.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, you wouldn't know at that point because everything could be real, everything could be fake.
Yeah, he's like making everyone hallucinate and shit.
Yeah, right. He's breaking glass, but is he really?
And also that funhouse seemed impossible. It was the hardest funhouse of all time.
Oh God, yeah, no, that's a lawsuit. All kinds of lawsuits right there, right from the bouncing clowns.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pennywise really, I think Pennywise threw one of them extra hard at him because he got tossed pretty hard.
Yeah.
It looked really good though, didn't it? Holy shit.
I thought it did.
I thought it did. TC, didn't you think that scene looked good? The funhouse scene? Give it that. Come on.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
I'll give you that. I'll just give it to you.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
You don't have to. You know it looked good. It did look good. They're filming mirror houses with the camera.
Lots of contrast, lots of color. It's, I mean, I liked watching McAvoy there or whatever run into the glass twice or
like,
3 times.
Take that.
Maybe he'll kill himself.
Hey, maybe you'll act a little better now, you fucking loser. You're right. You are a loser. You're a loser. I'm screaming, and they're like, hey, dude, come on, chill. It's fun.
Worst part of the movie, TC? I'm going to raise my hand and say it was when my hand is up in the air. When James McAvoy was riding down on Silver and he yelled, "Hi ho, Silver!"
Oh my God. Oh my God, dude. I
cringed. That was my least favorite part of the book
started.
too. Yeah.
How the fuck did they leave that in?
I don't know. John, what'd you think of that? Come on, dude.
I didn't cringe. I don't know. I don't know why I didn't hate James McAvoy or even
you have a crush on him. That's why.
Because every single time you thought you might hate him, you're like, you know what? I'm really happy to be out of the house.
No, I think, not to group you with Naomi, but Naomi also has a crush on McAvoy, so she just excuses him for everything that he does.
Oh, he's
that's
awful.
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Miserable.
Wow.
Tell that to his face, too.
Yeah.
Hey, nice to meet you. Hey, by the way, you were awful in
I
Chapter 2.
also don't think Chastain had a whole lot to do. I mean, some of these characters really didn't have much to do.
She has lots to do, dude. She has lots to do.
Know. She had a lot more to do than former fat boy.
She can make one face. She makes one solemn face, and that's it. The entire
Don't you think if you were dying
movie.
in a fucking stall of blood or you were drowning in a pile of dirt, you would look more scared than either of those two did that scene where they were grasping at each other.
Well, I know. And when I know, you're right. And when you contrast that to like the kids in the first scene or the first film when they are frightened and how much better they did.
Yep.
I'm telling you, man, it's because they're kids and they're no-namers. And
right.
just,
well, and because they were being psychologically abused on set and traumatized, but whatever, it's because it was real fear. But
they're having fun, dude. They're having fun.
Yeah. In retrospect.
No, it was like a fun house, man. It was like a scary ride.
Yeah. Oh, that's a
they
good
knew
way
they
to
were
think of
safe.
it. That's a good way to think about it. Okay.
The problem is that the actors in this one knew that this was just a fun fucking role for them. They don't give a shit.
Yeah, cashing in.
And, you know, whatever.
probably making lots of
I'll
money.
do this. Make a ton of money. It's like when you get that, gig that you don't give a shit about, but the money's coming in, so you keep going anyway.
Yeah.
I guess it's like everybody. That's like everybody's job. But
my name's Brie Larson. I'm Captain Marvel. I used to be a respected actress, but now I'm just taking the money.
Oh, McAvoy
I'm in
was
a
the guy that was in Wanted. That's where I saw him before. I was trying to remember where I've seen him.
He's a fucking
Wanted.
Professor X, dude.
I know for the newer X-Men's, which I think I may have seen one of those.
yeah,
But
it doesn't have to do much for
Skippable.
that.
He was in Split. If you'd never seen Split,
I never saw
not bad.
Split.
It's not bad.
Was he was actually good in Split?
No, he was
Well,
terrible
it's him
in
the
Split.
whole time. It's him the whole.
He was
That's still a good
aggressively
time.
terrible the entire time, but it's kind of entertaining watching him try to
I'm not
act.
watching that.
Weird.
I might just ban all of his movies from here on out.
Yeah, I'm on the fence about that
dear.
too.
Oh wow.
Like I can't fucking stand him.
What's wrong with me that I cannot recognize a bad actor or actress? I worry
He
about
was so
myself.
happy to be
You're
out of the house,
dazzled, dude. You're
Are you
dazzled
kidding
by
me?
you're dazzled by his like eyes or something. I don't know. Some part of it
Yeah,
is just
maybe.
like, hypnotizing you to not realize how shitty of an actor he is.
It's like, oh, what a nice guy. Is it a Keanu Reeves kind of effect?
No, Keanu Reeves can
Oh,
act better
might
than that
that
guy.
might get me in trouble. Okay, I shouldn't say that. Anyway, edit that out, Denny, because we cannot criticize the K.
No,
and
you
I wouldn't
can't.
want
He's
to
the nicest
either, 'cause
person
he's
in
a-
Hollywood. You cannot
I
find
know.
that guy.
It's true. He is the nicest person in Hollywood.
And good for him.
Yes.
Yes.
Everyone
Yeah, I
knows
guess
that you
that's
didn't mean it,
brownie
John.
points.
It's fine.
Yeah.
I have a problem.
Keanu would accept your apology, I
Of
think.
course he would, because God damn it, he's so nice.
So I did all the positive stuff. I got some negative stuff. They did
All right, what do
some
you have?
things. I feel like you could watch the entire first movie and not have one line of dialogue that was exclusive to people who read the book. But this movie, the second one did. When Jessica Chastain told Richie to his face to shut up by saying beep beep Richie.
Oh, right. And we didn't have that. We didn't have that explained in the first half either, right? But that was like a common theme in the book.
Right. And also, like in the first movie, Pennywise says it, but Pennywise says a bunch of weird shit, so it could just be chalked up as to just like a weird
Pennywise
thing
is
he's
an
saying.
insane alien / meta apocalyptic monster
Right.
of a different universe, whatever.
But fucking
So,
Bev
yeah.
says it to Richie, and we're supposed to we're not supposed to because they never explain it and they only do it once.
Right.
Like, it doesn't make any sense. I don't know. I don't like it when movies do that. It's like the fucking last part of Harry Potter and whatever the last movie was, where they just have all this shit that if you don't know what the other movies were, you're fucked. If you didn't read the
Yeah.
books, you're fucked. You know?
Nice. I don't have to watch that movie. Oh wait, I never would anyway.
Oh, we
Cool.
did. We watched it, TC.
I mean, I'm not going to do it on purpose.
Not again.
Forced into it. Yeah, not again.
I've done it once. I learned my lesson, kind of. I'm still on this
I learned my
podcast.
lesson. Sorry, I couldn't make that podcast. I don't know what to tell you.
Uh,
I should have started talking like Timmy in the theater. Ah, fuck you! Right? Just get all pissed. McAvoy, you piece of shit. Anyway.
beep, beep, Richie.
Yeah.
What's the...
Yeah, beat my ass, you fucking asshole. Right.
My biggest complaint
Sorry,
in the
you gotta
movie
go.
throughout is the jump scares in this movie. For some reason, seem cheap and unwarranted. Like there were some jump scares in the first one. And TC, you'd agree with me. You thought
Oh, yeah.
they worked better, and I don't know. I can't
They
explain
did.
why. I've only seen this movie once at this point, but as soon as like the first one that I was annoyed at, and I think the first one in the movie is when
Well, he already does like that jitter dance. Once you only get to do that once. You do that
Right.
again, and it's like no. It was really kind of creepy.
no,
the
he did the
first time,
jitter
but
dance multiple times in the first movie. To be fair,
Really, but yeah,
he did it
but
when he was
didn't
running
seem-
at Belch in the sewer. He did it when he was running at Bill when he was pretending to be
You're
Georgie
right.
in the basement.
That's true. You're right.
It happened a bunch, but for some reason, and it might
It
be the
worked better.
sound, it might have been the editing. I don't know what it is, but like in this one, I think it started when I started noticing it and being annoyed by it was when Henry was in his cell and there was a balloon underneath his bed and he tried to pull it out. And
Right.
it was like so quiet and it's underneath the bed. So you're like, all right, they're going to fucking jump scare me.
We're gonna have a jump
and they
scare.
did. And I wasn't scared and having fun. I was fucking jumping and being annoyed.
Oh, really? Oh, that one I like. I remember. I like that.
That one made me annoyed because I was like, I see it coming, and this
yeah.
isn't that. Like the scenes, I think the scenes in the first one are scary before the jump scare, but in this one, it's like nothing is happening, but there's gonna be a jump scare because the sound is going down.
Yeah, right.
You know, I don't know. It seemed cheaper, and I can't put my finger on why, but I didn't really like any of the jump scares in the second one. The one where he was in the locker and Pennywise jumps out behind him.
Yeah.
No, that was actually the most disappointing one because it wasn't the new kid.
Dude,
Yes.
I'm telling you, man, the sound matters, and a lot of the scares they had were not low end based, and it was fucking ruining it.
No, it was always just like wham. It was just like
Yeah, it was
hey!
like high end, and they because that's what I started looking at. Once I stopped giving a shit about the movie, I started looking at technical stuff like why are they scaring us and how are they doing it? And the low end, I don't know what it was, but the low end mix in the first one just seemed more on purpose, with intention, and it just wasn't there in this one.
The score in this one also
Ooh.
was not memorable. I remember like a few.
It was
few
actually
parts of the-
annoying, to be honest.
And they ripped off a lot of the first one too. There was nothing original, but I really enjoyed it in the theater. Like I'll watch it again. I thought a lot of the imagery, like when Pennywise became like the baby Pennywise and his face melted into the rock, that looked fucking cool. I mean, it was weird as hell, but like the way it looked like a real effect when like he'd move his head and it would sink back into the rock and like his facial skin would like contort with the way the rocks were. Like that looked pretty cool to me. And I agree with you guys that the spider thing at the end is dumb, but like I said, it's part of the book. But I thought that looked cool too. It didn't look like CG. It looked like a puppet or something.
Huh.
At least they CG'd a real face onto that thing, right? Like the head looked real.
Right.
But if we go down the crevice, it'll make him small.
Hey, we went down one hole, right? We went down the well. And oh, by the way, there's another hole. It's another well. Let's go down double holes. All right, here we go. We're going down to the bottom.
Him small. It's not the only way to make him small. You're a loser. Fucking dumb shit, man.
It was dumb. Did they do that in the book? They make him small by teasing him?
No.
No. Okay.
No. That was
a whole separate thing.
Yeah, they
Like-
thought
like,
it was,
what-
some new people thought that was a good idea.
Well, but it was either that or like you go to the alternate dimension and have a mind warp with the help of the turtle.
Yep.
I don't know.
Uh-huh.
So
There's no good
maybe-
options, really.
Yeah.
But I missed the Bill Skarsgård Pennywise. Basically, like,
He didn't
I
get
think-
much screen time, huh?
no, he didn't. And maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that's what they were going for because I also wanted more of him in the first one, but I felt satisfied. In this one, there were two scenes, one of which I didn't like the ending to. The little girl scene, I liked the way he was acting until it ended in a fucking jump scare, which was obvious, and I hated it because it wasn't like, I don't know, man. I feel like so John, in the first movie, when Georgie gets his arm bitten off, it's basically the exact same thing as this little girl, but the way the first one does it better is that it lingers on the violence when he's trying to crawl away and when it has that music when he's crawling away and you see the arm reaching out and it extends the horrible part, as opposed to this one where it's just like, and I bite you, and the next scene, and that's it. All right, we jump scared you. We're moving on, and you're like, "What the fuck?"
I know, but I'm grateful. I did not want to linger on the death of the little girl.
That's the scary shit, dude. That's like,
I
mean,
don't-
as
I
horrible
was-
as that
I
sounds,
was- I know.
want this movie to be quality, and I want it to scare me in a way that other movies can't do.
I do understand that, but man, I did not. I don't know.
So you're happy this movie sucked more, is what you're saying?
I'm happy this movie didn't linger on the death of a little girl, which terrifies me.
Yeah, that's scary. This is supposed to be a horror movie, John. That's what it's supposed to do.
I
Hey,
know,
John, did you know what movie you were watching?
Right. I like fun horror. This wasn't. That was.
I
less
like,
I'm
fun
not sure
horror.
what that means.
Prayer
What's
of the
fun
Roller
horror?
Boys. It's one of my favorite movies.
No,
I like
Ouija-
Lost Boys.
Ouija-
Actually, it's a pretty
Ouija
good movie.
board, silly demon horror stuff like that, but where it's not kids getting killed. I think it's. I mean, it adds to the tension of it for sure. And the first film had a lot more of that. But it's. I don't know. It's just tough.
Yeah.
I see your point though.
I just got really negative, so I'm confusing myself because I'm feeling negative right now. But man, I'm mixed about this one because I feel the same way about the book. So that's basically it. And I hope
But you
I don't
love
sound
the
like too
book,
much of a
and you've
douchebag
read-
being like,
you've
the
read the
book. But, it's hard not to.
But the book.
It's hard not to compare it to,
Yeah.
Do you guys notice the Thing reference?
The thing. Well, the spider head was the thing, right?
The spider head
Wasn't
was
that
the
the
Thing.
spider? Yeah.
And the guy actually said the exact same line from the Thing. He was just like,
did he?
"You gotta be fucking kidding me!" As it's like crawling away.
geez.
That's the exact line.
That's cool. That's a good reference then.
Kind of. It's a straight
I don't know.
ripoff. They're like, all right, The Thing did this with practical effects. Let's do this with CG, make it worse, and just rip it off completely and just have a worse scene than a classic movie. Why would you do that?
That's true. Actually, and it's interesting. Yeah, you don't necessarily want to call that out because The Thing did the creature feature stuff better.
Yeah,
in
that
some
movie's
ways.
going to have
Yeah.
the best upside down head on spider legs in movie history. Why would you fucking redo it with CG?
Why would you fuck with that?
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Like if you like that, if you like The Thing, then you like it for the practical effects. And if you're going to fucking redo it with CG, fuck you. Why would you do that?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm amping myself up over here. All right. Okay.
Yeah, you're getting all TC levels of anger here.
Yeah. I'm
That's
mixed on
just
this
me.
one, dude.
That's just me being normal.
Well, I don't know, TC, you've learned over these past years to not hate the ones you don't like and to appreciate things that you might not enjoy while you're watching them. I don't know.
Well, right. Instead of just going full blown hate.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, cortisol levels, the way they are, you got to do something, all right?
TC, did you not laugh at the scene where Eddie was getting vomited on by the leper?
No.
Fuck,
Didn't
really?
laugh. Dude, I had a lot of non-laughing going
John,
on.
did you
I don't know
laugh
if
at
I
that
was
at
in a
least?
bad mood. I had a bad day yesterday, so it might have just been a bad mood
Oh, okay.
situation, too.
John, did you laugh at that?
had a bad day.
Which scene? Wait, which scene
It was when he was
this?
trying to save his mom in the basement of the pharmacy and the leper got him
yeah.
and just like,
Oh, yeah.
Slow
I think I
motion
went,
the,
vomit.
leper, the leper sticks his tongue down mom's throat.
Yep.
Or all that. It's like, why? No, I was like,
no.
why?
There's a
Yeah.
scene where after that happens, the leper,
He gets
like
thrown
Eddie's
up.
trying to choke the leper and the leper vomits into his face and it goes to
Oh,
slow
right.
motion and it plays that
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
weird pop song.
Oh, no, I thought that was funny. I
I thought it was
funny
great.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seemed like a scene from Deadpool almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. Okay. Why? Here are my why questions. Why is the hotel safe?
Don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. You're right. It's a good point.
They're like, oh, we're back in home base, guys. Don't worry. Center of dairy. We'll be fine here. Don't worry about it.
It's safe for practical reasons. I don't know. It's just safe because it is. Because they
Always
'cause
with a
there's
good
gotta-
insight, John. Always.
Yeah, I know. It's safe because there's got to be somewhere where they have downtime to have their other interactions.
There wasn't that in the first movie.
No, because things just escalated sort of more naturally, it seemed like. And it wasn't after them specifically.
It was. That's why the first
Well-
movie was better, I thought, because like there was nowhere they could go where they could be safe. Even together or separate, they were always fucked.
Well, you're right. Right. Never mind.
This
You're
one they
right,
can go back and be
were,
like, oh, guys, I saw something scary today. You're like, oh, that's fine, dude. We'll listen till tomorrow and breakfast. So go to bed, everybody. It's fine over here.
Yeah, it's a little strange.
It was weird.
I agree. Yep.
So everyone's supposed to forget everybody, right? Everyone forgot
Yeah.
everybody except for Mike.
you
except
don't
for Mike.
forget everybody. You just have vague ideas about what did or didn't happen. You might remember people, but you don't
No,
remember
they
all
all
the details
forgot
of what
each other,
happened.
didn't they?
It
Like,
seems like
totally-
they pretty
no,
much did, yeah.
They knew who they were when they called. Like when somebody
No,
called,
they
knew who
forgot.
they
Everyone's
were,
like, who? And he's like, Mike. And you're like,
Uh-huh.
oh, fuck, blah, or crash my car. Because the memories like rush back when they call him.
oh, okay, that's fair enough. Yes,
So
but that's the point, right? You after you get out of dairy, that's what happens,
right.
right?
So I agree. But the point here is that what they wrote into the screenplay with the whole artifacts thing is that Ben's artifact was the fucking page from his yearbook from Bev. 27 years it's been in his wallet. Yet he forgot who the fuck Bev was.
Fuck you.
Arguably, you're right, but I don't think I just assumed he hadn't actually. He may have
Your
forgotten
trivia is great
everything
because
else.
you just making this worse now for me.
Sorry.
I didn't even.
But-
I remember thinking something like that, but like,
I
geez,
just always assumed that they didn't like fully 100% forget everything. That they may have kept some things, but certainly they didn't remember all the scary stuff, and they certainly didn't remember the it stuff or really what the pact
Well,
was.
you know what they forgot was the area code because when the fucking thing came up on the phone, they're like, "Oh, what's that? I wonder what's going on. I wonder."
Oh, Dairy Maine, who is this? Now, John,
Is that a Bernie Sanders support team? Is it, time
you're
to vote
apologizing
again?
for parts in the movie that do not exist, dude. Just let
Okay.
like it's nice that you liked it, and I liked it too. But that part
Yeah,
didn't
try.
exist. Everyone was completely fucking blank in the head.
Yeah.
That was pretty
Okay.
obvious. I thought. I mean, can you think of one moment where somebody remembered something before they had to start remembering shit? Was that in there? I don't think it was.
I don't
really.
think so. You're probably right.
Not to fucking rain this weird criticism down on you, John. I'm just trying to figure it out.
No, I know.
There's some trivia to this movie, actually.
Oh,
You guys ready for some trivia?
we're ready.
Go trivia.
Can you believe it? We just saw this movie last night. I already have trivia.
Well, I think
Fucking
one of the cool things is that it in the book comes like back every 27 years, right?
Yep.
And there is exactly 27 years between the miniseries and this film.
Yep, and there's exactly 27 years between the day where Kurt Cobain was born and when he died. And Janis Joplin and Jimi Hendrix.
Yes. Oh, I didn't even think about the 27 years in the rock star curse.
Yeah.
But it just happens to be a coincidence. It's not like they planned this. Although they probably were like, it'll be really cool if we get it out this year. But so it's just interesting.
Is it though?
Okay, I thought it is.
That's about as interesting as like reading the astrology report in the morning.
Oh, I think it's an interesting coincidence.
Well, I'm a Leo, so this is my time of year to get fucking frustrated. What?
John, you should look up the 27 things they have on the fucking trivia page.
Oh, really? Okay.
Do you want me to read some of them to you? They're ridiculous.
Yeah, what?
Yeah.
Continuing with the extreme coincidence of number 27, the film is set to release on September 6th, 2019. 9 plus 6 plus 2 plus 0 plus 1 plus 9 equals 27.
Numerology. No,
the first chapter was released on September 8th,
no
2017.
numerology.
9 plus 8 plus 2 plus 0 plus 1 plus 7 equals 27.
Take the sum of all those numbers, you get a good fuck you. Fucking Christ.
Yeah, so John, do you feel like you don't want to share that piece of trivia anymore?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah, no way.
I do like that this particular film was released actually 27 years without having to do any math, really.
Yeah.
From between the miniseries and this film.
9 plus 6 plus 2 plus 0 plus 1 plus 9.
Do you do math? If you take 9 plus 2 plus this plus that, you get down in the cellar.
You get a Peroon.
Pennywise.
Did you guys notice there was de-aging going on? So I should have prefaced that differently.
I did not notice. They de-aged the kids. They like graphic computer.
I thought it looked pretty fucking good. I did not recognize
I didn't
it.
notice.
Yeah.
I didn't even know.
De-aged.
So you know how last time we were talking about like if they filmed it at the same time? They didn't. They didn't film this movie at the same time as the first movie. So all of the kid scenes were
look different.
They were older. They were 2 years older at least. And and they de-aged all of them.
They just what? They just like changed the brush out some
I don't know.
imperfections and
Have you seen the Iron Man movie where they de-aged like Robert Downey Jr.?
Oh
Yeah.
right. Yeah,
It's
that's
like
true.
that.
That worked.
It did.
Yeah, so
well,
they
that
just
looks kind of
Guardians
CG
of
though.
the
That looks
Galaxy.
weird.
Yeah, but
This
that was
looks-
probably the beginning of the tech.
Right. This
Right.
I didn't notice it at all. I was like, oh, they must have filmed it at the same time because these kids look the same.
Huh.
Did you guys think the same thing?
I mean, I didn't notice.
I didn't notice.
Didn't notice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool.
right.
Bill Hader said it was his first time acting in a horror film that he struggled to act scared because his natural instinct when he's scared is
To
to
laugh.
laugh. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Of course.
He's like,
Of course Hader would have that problem.
Yeah. So he actually had to like change his instincts. So he was really acting there, I guess, to go against what he, people usually tap into their own things there.
Right.
Yeah, the last piece of
Right,
trivia I
right.
have is that Bill Hader was unaware that Bill Skarsgård actually moved his eyes in different directions in the first
Oh.
one. So when filming the second one, he went up to Bill Skarsgård and was like, hey, dude, what kind of makeup did they put in your eyes so they could do that in the CG? And he's like, you mean like this? And he stared at him and moved his eyes in a different direction. It freaked Bill Hader out.
Nice.
Wow.
That's it. I didn't say it had a lot of trivia, but I said it had some trivia.
I mean, it
All
had
right.
something.
Yeah.
but being there last night. Fuck it.
I'm not even going to ask. Well, I should. TC, would you put this in the top 250?
Yeah, you mean you don't even have to
Don't
ask.
be mad at me, dude. Don't
Yeah,
be mad.
right.
I have to ask it every
I'm not
time.
mad. No, I'm not mad.
Don't
no
hit
is
me.
the answer.
Don't
I
hit
was
me,
just gonna
dude.
be
Don't hit
silent.
me.
Silent might as well be no. So
John, would you put this in the top
No,
250
no,
movies?
but I am glad to have seen both these films.
he was glad to be out of the house for 3
Yeah.
hours. We've talked about
That's right.
Now, John, I mean, for some reason, I feel like I was more on TC's side towards the end, but I agree with you. I really enjoyed it. I'm
Yeah.
probably going to watch it again.
I feel like, you know what? I also feel like, too, is I'm going to movies alone. It's not a good look for me.
No,
Like, if I had someone there that I was friends with that were
Yeah,
like, you know,
that's fair.
you might be into it. You know, you'd be like tapping and be like, dude, that was funny. I'd be like, yo, that was funny, right? You know, like
Yeah.
maybe get into it more. Like, I noticed everybody there, like, this is going to sound sad. It's not. Everyone was there with like groups of people, right? Like, they were all like
Right.
fans, right? And I was then there, I was sitting
and
there. I'm
TC's like, can I sit
I'm
next to
here.
you guys?
I'm
Can I
here
sit
for a podcast.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm here for my job. I got it. I'm not, you know, I
I'm
got an
actually on the
assignment.
clock.
You
guys.
don't have
Um,
anybody that wants to go see a horror movie on opening night?
I got Timmy. Timmy was in there.
Timmy was in there. He
with
was the
me.
one who made it bad
what
for
the fuck
you.
is this piece of shit? Fuck this Pennywise fucking asshole. Right. Oh, yeah.
But, guys, next week we're actually catching back up with the real list. First time we ever
Okay.
did 2 non-movies in the list in a row.
Right.
Well,
Was it worth it?
Right.
That's questionable.
I mean,
but-
questionable ROI on this. I'm not so sure, but you know, what are you going to do?
But hey, it was a good experiment, and it's probably the only time we would get to do something like this, I think.
Right.
Uh,
Right.
But next week we're actually going to watch The Hunt, which is the one we said we are going to watch 3 weeks ago, however that works.
Mhm.
Right.
Yep. Thomas Vinterberg
And,
with Mads Mikkelsen.
Hell of a thing.
Yep.
Yep.
And we haven't seen it yet. Isn't that right, guys? We haven't seen it yet.
Nope, haven't seen it.
Nope.
Don't know what it's about.
Nope.
Well, yeah.
Definitely not.
Definitely not.
No.
I didn't see shit.
So next week, guys, we're getting
Next
back
week.
on track.
All right, boys.
All right, sounds good.
Later, dudes.
See you later.
All right, take care, guys.
Thank you.